Ahoy cruisers, First Mate Steph here. Welcome aboard to this week's edition of the Weekly Helm Report, where we chart the latest course through cruise headlines, itinerary shakeups, onboard buzz, and industry moves that matter. So whether you're docked at home or sailing full speed ahead, we've got your insider fix from bow to stern. So let's set sail. So it was a busy week, but not like bad busy, just news busy, which is pretty cool. I like that. So Norwegian, starting with them, so they are in the process of modernizing their fleet. So we will say goodbye to the Norwegian Sky in 2026 as it is transferred to the Cordelia Cruises India, but we will welcome the Norwegian Luna. So that'll be pretty cool. They have unveiled over 500 new voyages for the 2027 season. So of course we're going to be in the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and then Europe. So we'll see, just more of Norwegian around the area. And then their More at Sea promotion, or what was their Free at Sea promotion, has been enhanced and rebranded for More at Sea. So this package includes premium beverage brands, additional specialty dining nights, and high-speed Starlink Wi-Fi. So before, usually it's like you can do drinks and Wi-Fi, or drinks and Wi-Fi and dinners, or drinks Wi-Fi or dinners and Wi-Fi, or sometimes excursion credits and stuff. So it's pretty cool. I'm not sure with the More at Sea if you still pay the tips on the dinner and the drinks, because I know you would add it and then it would add X amount onto your total. So that was always kind of a surprise for people, because you would think, oh, it's part of it, but then it really kind of wasn't. So just watch out for that if you are booking the More at Sea, that your price might go up, and that is why. So now sliding over to Virgin. So the Brilliant Lady went on its first mermaiden voyage, officially with passengers. So that was from New York to Bermuda. It left 2 days ago on September 5th. So really, really excited for this new this ship coming out. So they redid some of it. If you've ever been on more than just one Virgin ship, then you know that they are all pretty similar in the way that they are laid out, which is great, but sometimes it's nice to spice it up. So the new ship features redesigned spaces and new experiences, including a Spanish-inspired dining venue called Rojo by Razzle Dazzle, which is great because we've never really made it to Razzle Dazzle when we go, because it's a lot of vegan food, and it's not that I'm against vegan food, but I really like meat, so we don't really check out Razzle Dazzle. And then new entertainment shows such as Up with a Twist and a new immersive murder mystery called Murder in the Manor. So I think it's pretty cool. And then probably my favorite news of this week is that the cruise line has been featured in a 2-episode arc on The Real Housewives of Miami, with the first episode airing on September 4th. So it was part of a marketing effort to showcase the Virgin Voyage experience to a wider audience. But the reason why it's my favorite is because we were on that cruise. We didn't realize we were going to be on that cruise. It was just a 2-day, really, really cheap sailing. It went out to sea and came back. So it was out, day at sea, and then we came back, and it was a great time. We were with some friends of ours, but we learned very quickly on that first day that, they're filming something, and then we figured out it was The Real Housewives of Miami. So now I have to go find it and try and look for us in the background of a bunch of different shots on Scarlet Night, the night that, the first night on, when they were shopping, stuff like that, and look for us in the background. So I'm really hoping that I can find us. And then finally with Virgin, they have some hella good offers right now. So right now they have a bunch of sailings through the end of the year, and I think the beginning of next year, that are $109 per person per night, which is really, really good for them. So definitely, if it is something that you are looking into trying out, maybe you have some free time, or you're, get use it or lose it vacation before the end of the year, please reach out to Starboard and Sunshine Vacations, and they will get you booked on it and try and, get you the best deal possible and the best room possible. And then going over to Carnival. So nothing too crazy with Carnival this week. So they did add a new non-alcoholic drink package. They did listen to the people who are their passengers, and they have introduced a new Cheers Zero Proof beverage package. So if you book it before the cruise, it is $29.99 per person per day. Or if you book it online or on board, it is $34.99 per person per day. So it includes a variety of non-alcoholic options such as mocktails, coffees, smoothies, soft drinks, waters. So all the stuff that if you don't need a drink package, you could get. Now, I'm not 100% certain because it just came out. If it is something that, if like for me, I don't really drink. So I do a lot of mocktails though, so that would benefit me, but it would not benefit Dan because he likes to drink. So, we have to get the drink package if we get a drink package, and then we both have to have it. So I don't know if it's one where he can get the drink package and I can get this. Probably not. Usually they don't let you combine them, even with a doctor's note, so we'll see about that. And then a reminder that the cruise line, if you're on a cruise, you can play cards with your friends, you can play dominoes with your friends, you can play games with your friends, but you cannot bet with your friends. So even for small stakes, there is no gambling to happen on board. It should only happen in the casino with a casino dealer or a slot machine. You can't sit at the casino bar and play games with your friends and then bet in there. That's not how it works. But so just a reminder, they had to send that out because they had some people get in trouble with it because they were playing games. So going over to Disney. So the newest ship, Disney Adventure, has embarked on its sea trial. It's scheduled to depart from Singapore on its first sailing in December 2025. So super exciting. We go on our first Disney cruise ever this Friday. I am really, really excited to give them a shot. And so I'm gonna check that out. The Disney Cruise Line has provided new details on the Disney Destiny, which is set to debut in November 2025, and it's look at like their exclusive merchandise for their Pirates of the Caribbean inspired pub, cask, and cannon. So I saw some of that and it looked really, really cool. And then their fall 2026 and spring 2027 itineraries have been released. So they are going to some new ports. They are going to go to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, which is by far my favorite port to go to in the Caribbean. So that is pretty cool. They have a really cool cruise port if they're going to go to Taino Bay. There is a lazy river and stuff that's free to use. It's great. It's even greater when it's just virgin and it's all adults. And then there is a new ship deployment. So the Disney Magic will sail from California and offer Baja and Mexican Riviera cruises before repositioning to Galveston. The 2026 summer season, the Disney Magic will join the Disney Wonder for sailings on Alaskan itineraries. The Disney Dream will return to Europe for the 2026 summer season, offering a variety of itineraries, including a new port in Italy. And then finally, many of the new itineraries include stops at both the Disney Private Islands destinations, Castaway and Lookout Cay. I actually saw this the other day, where that's the only places I went to their 2 private islands. And then some of the sailings will actually feature 2 stops at Castaway Cay. So I think that's pretty interesting because I won't know until this weekend, but I don't know if they have shops on the private islands, right? So you go on the private island and then you're going to spend Disney money on the private island. And is it a cash grab? Is it because it's less taxes to pay? I mean, I'm just curious what is the benefit here, because there's definitely going to be a benefit. And then the cruise line has announced the return of its popular Halloween on the High Seas and a Very Merry Time holiday sailings for the fall of 2026. Pixar Day at Seas and Marvel Day at Seas are also returning on select sailings. So we are actually going on a Halloween on the High Seas, and I am so freaking excited for it. I am really excited for everything we've got going on with that. We're going with our whole family, so we're gonna be dressed up for Halloween, and I can't wait to share those pictures on our Instagram because they will be something. And then finally, the company has released casting notices for seeking character lookalikes for the roles of Tiana and Frozone to work across the fleet. So if that is you and you want to go work on a Disney Cruise Line, you should. So going over to the Royal Caribbean. So the Legend of the Seas has floated out as the 3rd ship in the Icon class. So it reached a major construction milestone with its float out ceremony. In Finland, the ship is scheduled to debut in August of 2026 with Mediterranean itineraries before moving to the Caribbean in November of 2026. They also announced some new future ships and destination plans. So there is a new class of smaller ships called the Discovery Series, and I think this is very interesting because they've grown their boats or ships over and over and over again, right? So like the Star of the Seas is massive; it's a huge ass ship, but now there's kind of some complaints behind that because people are feeling that they're getting too big and there's just too much, and you can't see it all. Even on a week, it's too much. And so now they're kind of turning back and they're creating the smaller series, or the series of smaller ships. So I think that'll be cool to see what they come out with. A 7th Oasis class will be coming out in 2028, or 7th ship will come out in 2028. The Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is opening in December of 2025. A 2nd Royal Beach Club location in Cozumel, Mexico will be opening in 2026. A Perfect Day in Mexico in Costa Maya is set to open in 2027, featuring a water park with 31 slides and the world's longest lazy river. This is very controversial. The people of Costa Maya are really pissed off and they're not very happy about it because they feel like it's ruining kind of their way of life and turning them into, they're already kind of a tourist attraction, but like if you've ever been to Costa Maya, it's not like it's not this. It's not. And so I'm very sad that this is what's happening. Because I really love Costa Maya and I'm hoping that maybe it'll just be a section and we can still get over to the beach and stuff, and that is, I don't want their way of life ruined, right? Like I just not. And then there are some other things that are happening. So starting September 1st, they have implemented a new policy to charge a fee for guests who make specialty dining reservations but do not show up. So if you get on board and you're, oh man, I really want to go to the steakhouse. Oh, they're booked. And then you find out that like 6 tables didn't show up. And well, shit, I could have had that reservation. I would have shown up. So now they're starting to charge a fee. So the fee does not apply to guests with an existing dining package or those booked in a star class suite. But still, if you're going to make the reservations, go to them or cancel them. Just do the right thing, right? There is a wait list and they will call people and be like, hey, do you want this? And then finally for Royal Caribbean, this is not anything surprising to me. So I'm glad to see that it happened. But due to ongoing civil unrest in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Royal Caribbean has canceled all visits to the private destination Labadee until at least May of 2026. So several ships have had to have their itineraries adjusted, and they're looking at going to ports like Falmouth, Jamaica, Nassau, Bahamas, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, or just getting an extra day at sea. So I am not surprised. There's a lot of unrest in Haiti, and it's getting closer and closer to Labadee. So I'm not surprised that finally came out that they're going to cancel them for even longer, because they were kind of doing it on like a month-by-month basis. And finally, for our last cruise line, we have MSC. So the MSC Meraviglia is being relocated from its current home port in Brooklyn, New York to Miami for the winter 2026-2027 season. This move will increase MSC's presence in Miami to 4 ships. So that will be a total of 7 ships sailing in the Caribbean between Galveston and Port Canaveral and Miami. They have expanded the Caribbean itineraries with the Meraviglia in Miami. MSC is offering now 6 and 8 night itineraries. These sailings will include stops at popular destinations like Amber Cove in the Dominican Republic and Grand Turk. So that port is, I've never been to Grand Turk, and I would think it would be really cool, but it's never been on one because it's pretty sporadic. So, and then finally, MSC has begun highlighting their newest ship, the MSC World Asia. So that is going to be debuting in December of 2026. And despite the ship's season, the ship's first season will be in the Western Mediterranean, but then it'll go over to Asia, and that will live there. And then they have the World Atlantic coming out, which should be coming to Port Canaveral. So then we have the World America down in Miami. And pretty big stuff for MSC. And then it's within MSC, but it's not at the same time. So MSC's luxury brand Explorer Journeys has also been in the news. They recently launched a new Sky and Sea fare, which allows passengers to book flight and cruise packages from various locations. They've also announced a new partnership with tennis player Jannik Sinner as the global brand ambassador. Explorer is really nice. They're smaller boats. Everything is going to be balcony or better. They're just better. So it's definitely something that we have talked about trying to get on eventually. But they're pricey. They're very pricey. And then for your cruise tip of the week, so take advantage of the free Wi-Fi in port. Not everybody wants Wi-Fi on boat. Not everybody gets Wi-Fi on the boat. If you don't want to pay for it, you don't do it. So do a bunch of research before you leave. So look up the ports on your itinerary. Find out where the free Wi-Fi spots are. So, a lot of times you can go to a McDonald's or a Starbucks and you can get free Wi-Fi there. A lot of the times, if your plan allows it, you can get service in some of the ports, depending on where you're going. So, like I know if we go to Mexico or the Bahamas, we get free cell service, so we can turn our phones on there. But we generally have Wi-Fi anyways. Make sure that if there's anything that you need to download ahead of time, or if there's something you need to send beforehand, do it before you leave your free Wi-Fi, if that's a thing for you, or just pay for the Wi-Fi package. And then make sure your family knows where you are if you're not going to have it. So, and then make sure if you do need to get it, that how to get it on the boat and stuff. But by utilizing free Wi-Fi in port, you can save hundreds of dollars over the course of a week-long cruise and still stay connected to where you need to be. So I always have Wi-Fi. I have friends. I have family. I have a child, so I stay connected with all of them. But that is it for this week's voyage to the headlines. So whether you're tuning in from dry land or dockside, I thank you for sailing with us. We want to thank our sponsor, Starboard and Sunshine Vacations, as always, for being there and taking the stress and the mess out of our vacation planning and just making it happen. So don't forget to subscribe, share, and drop anchor again next week for more cruise lines, insider scoops, and stories from the ship. Until then, here's to wishing you calm seas and clear skies.